Welcome back to this deep dive brought to you by English Uncut. We have got a fascinating and really practical mission today. We are taking a real, emotionally rich English conversation and putting it under the linguistic microscope. This is not just about listening to words. This is about understanding the architecture of English communication. So if you are learning English, or if you just want to understand how native speakers structure their deep thoughts and navigate sensitive decisions, you're definitely in the right place. Our mission here at English Uncut is pretty straightforward. We're going to read the source dialogue slowly, very clearly, and then we'll break down the sentences phrase by phrase, making them easy for you to understand, and most importantly, easy for you to use immediately in your own daily life. So let me ask you this. Do you ever feel like you understand the individual English words, but you struggle to put them together in a real conversation? Well, stick with us, because today we are going to unlock some essential, everyday phrases that native speakers use all the time when they're dealing with things like pressure or making confessions. And before we start, please remember to like this deep dive, subscribe to the English Uncut channel right now, and share this with your family and friends. That way you do not miss any valuable lessons. And to guide us through this linguistic roadmap, I am delighted to welcome our expert instructor.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Your focus is always on clarity, on pronunciation, and just the practical, real-life application of language.
That's right. My role today is to be your guide through the grammar and the vocabulary. We will be focusing on clarity and the practical use of the language in our source material. We want to make sure that you hear every single sound and understand how to produce it accurately yourself. We are, in a way, turning passive knowledge into active conversational power.
Perfect. Let's set up our scenario then. Our source material today is a complete dynamic dialogue between two friends, Jack and Julia, and later on, Julia's parents. And they are navigating a huge life decision. It involves feelings, family pressure, and the topic of marriage. The dialogue is just filled with these extremely common yet structurally powerful English phrases.
That is correct. And remember, our focus is purely on the linguistic usage. We are dissecting the words they say to help you replicate those exact structures. We will read each featured sentence slowly and clearly, and for our analysis, we will use the full non-contracted forms of words, so do not instead of don't.
Right. For maximum clarity.
Exactly, for clarity. But as we break them down, we'll also talk about how native speakers typically blend or contract these sounds in faster speech. That distinction is really crucial for any learner.
It really is. That's the key to moving from academic learning to real-world fluency. Okay, let's dive right in. We are starting with the initial greetings and observations between Jack and Julia. Jack is greeting Julia, and the very first phrase is a perfect example of a greeting that asks about duration, not just, the present moment. Hey, Jack, how have you been?
This is more than just a polite question. It's a request for status over a period of time. Notice the tense here, have been. This is the present perfect tense. It is absolutely foundational for English communication because it links a past action or state to the present moment.
So if he had just asked, how are you? That would be different.
Completely different. How are you is about your state right now in this exact moment. But by asking, how have you been, he is asking about everything that has happened since the last time they saw each other.
It implies duration.
Precisely. So if you're catching up with an old colleague or a friend you have not spoken to in a few days, this is the essential phrase to use. It really opens the door for a little summary of recent events.
I think the present perfect is one of the trickiest tenses for learners. What's the most common mistake you see with it?
Oh, that's easy. The most common mistake is confusing it with the simple past. A learner might ask, how were you?
Right. I've heard that.
And that question implies that the person's status has completely ended. It sounds a bit strange, but how have you been correctly bridges the past and the present, showing that the situation is ongoing. Mastering that little have auxiliary verb is a huge step towards sounding natural.
It is absolutely about duration.
Okay.
So Julia responds by keeping her explanation brief and using a softener.
I've been good, just busy with work.
Let's break this down. There are two really practical things happening here. First, the word just.
When it's used here, just is a kind of conversational minimizer. It reduces the impact of the explanation. Julia isn't making a big complaint about being busy. She is just saying, my main activity has been work. It makes the busyness sound less dramatic.
So it's softer than saying, I'm so busy with work.
Much softer. For example, if you arrive late, saying, I am just running a few minutes late, sounds a lot better than I am running late.
And what about the second part? The efficiency of busy with work. She could have said something much longer.
And that simplicity is the core of real practical English. She uses the structure busy with plus the noun phrase, busy with work. She avoids a complex sentence like, I am busy because my job has given me many tasks.
Right.
This structure, busy with something, is so efficient and common. Think about it. You can be busy with wedding preparations or busy with school applications. It lets you communicate what's demanding your time very, very quickly. And for pronunciation, we should articulate the link between just and busy. It flows together.
Yeah.
Just busy. It should sound like one connected piece.
That simplicity makes it so easy to use. Okay, so Jack responds, confirming he's in a similar situation, but he uses this brilliant idiom, work has been keeping me on my toes.
Okay, let's really unpack this idiom, keeping me on my toes. This is such a great phrase, especially in a professional setting. It's an idiom that means the work is demanding, it's challenging, and it requires you to be constantly alert, ready to react.
The image is very active, isn't it?
It is. The literal image is of a person standing on the balls of their feet, ready to move quickly. Figuratively, it means mental agility, and it has a positive feeling, suggesting you're enjoying the challenge, even if it's intense. It's so much better than just saying work is hard. It suggests dynamic effort.
So it's not just busy, it's engagingly busy. How would a learner use this in a professional setting without sounding, overly dramatic?
You can use it when describing any demanding activity. The new project is really keeping me on my toes, or even something personal, like my kid's new school schedule keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
It shows enthusiasm and your ability to handle hard work. Just remember, the idiom is keep someone on their toes, plural, not toe. That's a common little slip.
That is a great professional nugget. Okay, now, Jack notices a change in Julia, and this moves the conversation from small talk to a deeper observation. He uses a powerful intensifier here. You look altogether different today.
This is where we see the conversation shift. Now, most learners are comfortable with the word different, but what about altogether? Altogether acts as a strong, slightly formal intensifier. It means completely or entirely. By saying altogether different, Jack is emphasizing that the change he sees is comprehensive. It's undeniable. It's much, much stronger than a little different or even very different. It suggests a total transformation.
That makes sense. Is altogether something you'd mostly see in writing, or is it common in conversation?
It's relatively common in speech, but it does signal a slightly more formal or reflective tone than just saying completely. Interestingly, altogether often pairs with descriptions that suggest something is different or even wrong. Like, that decision was altogether wrong.
Oh, okay.
It draws attention to a total contrast. When you use it, be sure to pronounce all the parts clearly, altogether. That final sound is important. Using it well adds real weight and conviction to your observations.
We've mastered the polite surface language. Now, as the conversation deepens, the speakers shift their tense usage to convey internal struggle. Julia admits that Jack is right, and she confirms his observation with a phrase that shows she's been thinking deeply.
Oh, you noticed. I've just been thinking a lot lately.
This sentence is a perfect illustration of the present perfect continuous tense. I have just been thinking. This tense tells us two things. First, the action thinking started in the past. Second, that it has continued right up to this moment. It really emphasizes the duration of the activity.
So it's not a finished thought. Exactly. She's not saying, I thought a lot yesterday. That's the simple past. She's explaining that this state of deep reflection has been her ongoing mental activity for some time. It's a very subtle way to explain why you might seem preoccupied.
And how does the adverb lately fit into that structure?
Lately means recently or in the immediate past. It's a signal word, really, a time marker that almost always calls for the present perfect or the present perfect continuous tense. When you use lately, you are framing the recent past as the context for your current state. It's the best way to explain why you seem distracted. You're saying, this deep thinking is what I've been doing recently.
And she immediately reveals the cause of this reflection. She brings in the outside pressure from her family. My parents have been talking a lot about my marriage lately.
And there it is again. That powerful combination of lately and the continuous structure have been talking. This structure is so common for reporting ongoing discussions or pressures. The continuous tense suggests it's persistent. They didn't just mention it once. This conversation is happening frequently, continuously.
You can feel the pressure.
You can. And focus on the simple structure talking a lot about. It's direct, and it conveys high frequency. You don't need complex verbs. My boss has been talking a lot about the deadline. It just makes the frequency immediately clear.
Right. And it sounds so natural. Now, Jack immediately asks a simple, direct question to learn more. Really? What are they saying?
This is a perfect example of a simple question structure using the present continuous tense. What are they saying? It's focused on the content of those conversations happening now, but the structure is easy. The key here in conversation is the intonation.
Ah,
If you say it with a flat tone, it sounds robotic, uninterested. But to show real interest and concern, you need a sincere, slightly rising intonation on saying, listen again, what are they saying? That little lift at the end shows you are engaged.
that subtlety is so important. Okay, Julia explains the family pressure. They want an arranged marriage. Jack then asks about her personal view. An arranged marriage. Do you agree with them?
This is your fundamental structure for asking about someone's personal position. It's a classic example of using the auxiliary verb do to form a yes or no question about an opinion. The phrasing, do you agree with them, is essential. He's not asking for facts about arranged marriage. He's asking if she supports the idea, if her opinion aligns with her parents.
So it's about her personal stance.
Exactly. Do you believe this is right? Do you agree with the plan? It forces a clear indication of support or opposition. For learners, the key is not to drop that auxiliary verb. Saying you agree with them is okay in very fast, informal speech, but using the full do you agree is always clearer and grammatically solid.
Julia confirmed her belief, and this introduces a very important structure for expressing a personal philosophy. Yes, I do. I have always thought arranged marriages are more practical. And Jack follows up with his counter-belief, using a structure that implies deep conviction. Well, I believe in love marriages.
Okay, let's spend a moment on this structure. I believe in. This is very different from just saying, I believe. If you say, I believe it will rain, you're stating a prediction, a fact you hold to be true. But when you use I believe in, followed by a concept like love marriages, you're expressing a foundational, strong opinion, a philosophy.
Ah, I see. It's about a principle.
Exactly. Jack believes in love marriage as a core principle. This structure communicates deep conviction. We use it all the time for big ideas. I believe in democracy, or I believe in second chances. It expresses support for the concept itself.
That's a powerful difference. Jack then introduces a note of caution about his own preference, using a key modal verb to express possibility. But love can be unpredictable.
Here, the modal verb can is used to express a general truth or a possibility that is just part of the nature of the subject. He's saying it is possible for love to be unpredictable.
So it's not about ability, like I can run fast.
Correct. It's expressing a characteristic behavior. Think of other examples like driving in the city can be stressful.
And that's paired with the abstract noun, unpredictable.
Yes. Unpredictable means you can't know what will happen next. It implies risk. For pronunciation, make sure to stress the third syllable. Unpredidiciable. It's important for clarity.
Julia counters that point by focusing on comparison, saying her choice offers more security. Arranged marriages are based on compatibility and family support, which are more stable foundations.
This is a great chance to review comparative adjectives. When an adjective has 3 or more syllables, like stable, we use the word more before it. More stable.
Right, not Stabler.
Definitely not Stabler. And she uses that word foundations again. A foundation is the base of a building, and here, figuratively, it's the core structure of the marriage. She's arguing that compatibility and family support are strong, reliable starting points.
It's a very solid metaphor.
It is. It adds a lot of weight to her argument, suggesting seriousness and long-term planning.
Jack immediately challenges that by reversing the idea, suggesting her foundation is meaningless without the core emotion. True, but love is the foundation of everything.
He's using rhetoric here. It's a simple sentence, but it's very powerful. He's arguing that even with those other stable factors, love has to be the core, the essential base for everything. Without it, the whole structure is weak.
Julia then suggests that love can develop over time, introducing a very interesting pronoun structure. One can grow to love someone in an arranged marriage.
Okay, let's talk about the word one. In this context, it is not the number. It's used as a general, non-specific pronoun, meaning any person or people in general.
So it's a bit more formal than saying you can.
It is, yes. It makes the argument sound more universal, not just about her. In modern, casual American English, people often substitute you or we, but using one adds a thoughtful, slightly formal tone.
And what about the phrase grow to love? It's a very different idea.
It's the perfect choice of words for her argument. Grow to love means the feeling develops gradually. It's a process built on shared experience and respect.
It's the opposite of falling in love.
Exactly. Falling in love is fast, sudden, intense. Growing to love implies cultivation and patience. This verb choice directly supports her argument that a stable marriage can be built first, and the emotional connection can follow. It's a very useful structure for describing any evolving relationship.
The conversation now moves into risk. Jack continues to challenge Julia's idea of security by using a common structure for posing hypothetical problems. But love marriages often face a lot of challenges. What if you fall out of love?
The structure what if is just essential for this. It introduces a fear, a possibility, a hypothetical challenge. It signals to the listener that we're moving into an uncertain future scenario. And then we get that vital phrasal verb, fall out of love. We have fall in love, which is the beginning, and fall out of love is the opposite, to stop feeling that romantic love. It beautifully conveys the risk Jack sees.
That what-if structure is so versatile. Could you give us a couple more common examples?
Of course. If you're worried about work, what if the client does not approve the plan? If you're planning a trip, what if our flight is delayed? You're always introducing a possible negative scenario and asking about the consequences.
He immediately follows that up with another very flexible phrasal verb. What if things do not work out?
Here we have the phrasal verb work out. In this context, it means to succeed or to resolve successfully. So if a relationship does not work out, it fails or it ends badly.
And this phrase is used everywhere.
Everywhere. For exercise, I work out at the gym. For math, can you work out the total cost? But in personal situations, it's the standard phrase for success or failure. And I want to mention the format here. We are analyzing the full form, do not work out. For clarity, this is great. But in fast, natural speech, you would almost always hear the contraction don't. What if things don't work out? The rhythm is different.
Right. Okay, Julia shifts the focus away from love and failure toward the values she believes truly sustain a relationship. The important thing is commitment and understanding.
This is a powerful declarative statement. She is defining the non-negotiable requirements of a partnership using two very strong abstract nouns: commitment and understanding. Commitment is dedication, loyalty, and ongoing promise. Understanding is the ability to grasp the other person's feelings. When you use these nouns, you are treating these qualities as concrete requirements, like pillars of the relationship.
Julia then admits her own deep worry, and she opens her admission with a soft conversational filler. I guess I am just worried about the uncertainty.
I guess it's such a gentle conversational filler. It's a soft way to express an opinion or an admission. It signals that she is a little hesitant, but she's ready to be honest with Jack. It softens the whole statement.
It makes her sound more vulnerable.
It does. We use it when we don't have absolute certainty. I guess I can be there by 5. The pronunciation is quick, almost like one word, I guess.
And we have another critical abstract noun, uncertainty.
Yes. Uncertainty is the state of being unsure. It's the core fear in any big life decision.
All right.
Just be careful with the pronunciation. Uncertainty. 4 distinct syllables.
She then describes her greatest fear if she were to choose a love marriage, and it failed, using a really dramatic but common phrase. What if I'm just setting myself up for heartbreak?
Let's deconstruct that phrasal verb, setting myself up for. This means to arrange things, intentionally or not, so that a specific, usually negative outcome is likely.
So she feels like she'd be creating the situation for failure.
Exactly. But you can use it positively, too. I'm setting myself up for success by studying hard. But here it's negative because it's paired with that very strong emotional term, heartbreak, profound emotional distress. The combination really conveys the risk she feels.
After this intense debate, Jack changes the dynamic completely. He makes a personal confession. Julia, there is something I have been meaning to tell you.
This is one of the most useful structures for a personal revelation in English. The phrase "I have been meaning to" expresses an intention that has existed for a long time, but has not been acted on until now.
There's that present perfect continuous again.
It's all about duration. It tells the listener that what follows is important and has been weighing on your mind. It's the perfect opener for any piece of delayed news, good or bad. It builds a little suspense and signals a serious tone.
Jack then explains why he's finally speaking up now. I was afraid, Julia, afraid that you did not feel the same way. I could not keep it to myself any longer.
Let's look at that last part. I could not keep it to myself any longer. Keep it to myself is a key idiom, meaning to keep a secret, to keep a feeling private. The use of could not emphasizes that the feeling became too overwhelming to hide anymore. He had reached his absolute limit. Keep it to myself is so personal, it implies an internal struggle.
Julia's reaction is one of shock, and she needs time. Oh, Jack, this changes everything, and this is a lot to process.
These are simple, powerful sentences for a strong reaction. This changes everything means the news has fundamental consequences for her life. And this is a lot to process is essential for emotional communication. In this context, to process means to deal with, to absorb, to understand complex information mentally and emotionally.
It's a great phrase. It's much better than just saying, I need to think.
It is because it immediately conveys the scale of the information. You're admitting you need time because the information is so big it can't be handled instantly.
Jack recognizes her need for time and gives her space, using a phrase that shows respect. I understand, Julia. I do not want to pressure you.
We hear the full negation again, I do not want to. And the verb pressure is critical. It means to force or urge someone to do something they are not ready for. This is a vital phrase for maintaining respectful boundaries. He's confirming her autonomy. In fast dialogue, you'd hear, I don't want to pressure you, which has a softer rhythm.
And Julia expresses the immediate result of his confession. She's stuck between two choices. It is hard, Jack. I am torn.
This is a perfect, concise idiom for internal conflict. The literal meaning of torn is ripped or pulled apart. Idiomatically, I am torn means I am conflicted, pulled in two different directions at the same time.
So she's in an emotional deadlock.
Exactly. She's torn between her family's wishes on one side and her new feelings for Jack on the other. You can use this for any difficult choice. I am torn between these two job offers. It's a very high-impact phrase.
Jack responds to her confusion not with demands, but with unconditional support. Julia, follow your heart.
Follow your heart is a universally understood idiom. It means you should act according to your deepest feelings or desires, even if they conflict with logic or social expectations. It's advice that prioritizes emotional fulfillment.
He reinforces this support with a strong, future-focused commitment phrase. Whether you choose an arranged marriage or take a chance on us, I will respect your decision. I will be here no matter what.
This is such a powerful statement of loyalty, and the phrase no matter what is the key here. It means regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the outcome, it emphasizes unconditional, absolute support.
And he uses, I will be here.
Yes, that future simple tense, I will, when used this way, shows a fixed, determined promise. It's a guarantee. Learners can use no matter what to reinforce any commitment. I will finish this project no matter what. It signals great resolve.
Julia takes the time she needs and decides to speak to her parents. She uses a very formal, direct way to introduce this serious topic. Mom, Dad, there is something I need to talk to you about.
When you have a serious topic or a difficult confession, this is the perfect opening structure. It prepares the listener for something serious without revealing the topic immediately.
It's more formal than, hey, can we talk?
Much more. There is something I need to talk to you about implies weight. You're asking for dedicated time and attention. Learners should definitely use this for professional or serious family discussions.
And her parents realize the importance of her statement and encourage her to continue. What is it, dear? Go on. We are listening.
The imperative phrase, go on, is used here as strong encouragement. It means please continue speaking. It's a gentle but firm invitation to proceed. And notice they use the full structure we are listening, not the contraction we're listening. In English, choosing the full form in a context like this often adds gravity. It emphasizes that they are giving her their complete, undivided attention.
Julia explains her feelings, and happily her parents offer their support. She returns to Jack with her decision and uses a key phrase for starting a new path together. It means I want to give us a chance.
This is a beautiful phrase for starting a relationship. To give us a chance means to allow an opportunity for success. She's agreeing to start a romantic relationship with Jack, recognizing the risk, but willingly granting the opportunity for it to succeed.
The word chance implies both risk and opportunity.
Exactly. And you can use this structure anytime you agree to try something new where the outcome is uncertain. Let's give the new strategy a chance. It implies hope and a willingness to try.
That phrase perfectly blends risk with hope. Jack makes a reciprocal promise, and Julia finishes their commitment with a powerful phrase about shared responsibility. This is just the beginning. No matter what challenges come our way, we will face them together.
Let's focus on the verb face here. It's used figuratively. It doesn't mean your actual face. It means to confront or deal with problems directly, without avoidance.
It's a very active verb.
Very active. It's a much stronger promise than saying, we will solve them. And the strength is amplified by that final word, together, and the determined we will face. This is the language of true partnership.
Wow, that was an exceptionally deep dive. What we've shown here is the immense value of analyzing dialogue. It shows how deep emotional thinking is conveyed using these incredibly simple but powerful English structures.
Absolutely. The structures we've analyzed, from the continuous tenses to the use of modal verbs and abstract nouns, they are the backbone of natural, fluent conversation. If I had to highlight 3 of the most useful phrases for you, the learner, to start integrating, I'd pick 3 that carry a lot of emotional and social weight.
Okay, what are they?
First, keeping me on my toes. This is excellent for professional and personal life. It means you're alert, busy, and engaged. Remember, the stress is on toes. Second, I am torn. This is your shortcut to expressing deep internal conflict, and focus on that vowel sound in torn. Make sure it doesn't sound like turn.
Right.
And third, I have been meaning to tell you. This is the perfect polite opener for any important delayed piece of news. And practice the blending of been meaning to. It should flow like one connected unit.
Fantastic, actionable advice. So here's your challenge, dear listener. This week, we challenge you to actively use just one of the phrases we analyzed today in a real conversation. Try using I believe in, followed by a concept you support. Or maybe use setting myself up for to describe a preparation you are making, good or bad. Just get these structures moving from your head to your mouth.
And remember this final thought. The most important part of learning English is not knowing every single word, but understanding how common words combine to create complex feelings. Knowing how to use an idiom like I am torn conveys far more than listing 20 separate adjectives for confused. Focus on these powerful connections.
Thank you so much for this exceptionally insightful lesson on the practical language of life decisions.
My pleasure. Keep practicing and keep listening.
To everyone listening, thank you for joining us for this deep dive. Remember to like this video, subscribe to English Uncut, and share this deep dive so you can continue to learn practical, real-world English with us. We will be back soon with another deep dive. Until then, keep practicing